So what we have here is the basic materials for drawing one. And I'm going to walk through them real quickly so you know exactly what matters and what doesn't. First thing over here is a newsprint pad. There's 50 sheets in this pad. They come in 50 or 100 sheet pads. You're probably going to use 100 sheets to get through the course. Buy one big pad, two small pads, buy one at a time, whatever serves you and sort of manages your budget well. You see a yardstick sticking up there. We need at least a 2 foot, preferably a 3 foot straight edge, some kind of measuring device. But you can see I have a really old, cheap one from a company that doesn't even exist anymore. That's really all you need for the purposes of this class, though you might need something more complex for later courses. Working from left to right here, you have a sumi brush. That's a required object. It's commonly referred to as a calligraphy brush. You can see the scale I have here is roughly the dimension or a little wider than a standard pencil. I did not get a really heavy, bulky one. There are a number of sizes. Next to it are two items that are optional. We'll play with in accord with this particular project. One is a reed pen, which is exactly as it sounds. It's a piece of reed or bamboo cut with a couple of pen points on the end. The other is called a staff pen, and it uses a metal tip, sometimes called a calligraphy pen, but I don't want any fancy tips. This is a straight metal tip. It's the cheap one. Comes in a variety of handles, formats typically. Speedball makes one that's black and tapered, and Hunt makes a shorter one, but they're all basically the same thing. You can get any one of them. A charcoal pencil, exactly what it sounds like. Get the soft version if you have a choice between hard and soft, because the soft will make a nicer mark. Ebony pencil, either labeled by design or by Prismacolor. It's the same thing, just a very heavy, soft lead. You have a number of graphite pencils here. Basically, look for a numbered set that runs somewhere between the H through, say, 4 to 6H to 4 to 6B sequencing. I don't care if you get every pencil, but you should have about 4 or 5 in the sequence. And that's just to get you used to graphite pencils of a different quality, and it's used later in one of our assignments that way specifically. A bottle of ink, I buy a large quantity, but you're going to buy something in a bottle about this scale. Typically be a bottom heavy bottle so you don't spill it. Drafting tape looks like masking tape. It's pretty close to masking tape, except the adhesive is not quite as strong and it has no acid in it. So when we use better papers, you don't leave an acidic burn on them. And it doesn't tear the paper up when you peel it up. This is a China marker. This is an optional item. You might get a China marker or a litho pencil. They make marks kind of like crayons, deep black mark without a lot of mess, and it's got kind of a paper wrap on it. Charcoal, compressed charcoal. In this case, I want you to buy this particular brand. It is readily available at most art supply stores and online shopping areas. It just performs better than most anything else on the market. And it is AP compliant. It's a safety issue. Gloves, nitrile gloves. Excuse me. You may want to wear nitrile gloves. There's nothing here that is so hazardous that you have to wear gloves in order to protect yourself health-wise. But the nitrile gloves or latex gloves, either one, just help you keep your hands clean when we're using some of the dirtier products. Pencil sharpener. I don't care if you use an electronic pencil sharpener and spend $40 on one, or you buy the 25-cent plastic one that you took to kindergarten. Either one of them will work just fine. Just give yourself something to sharpen your pencils with. This is an oil bar. This one's produced by Winsor Newton. Get one in black. It's just basically a giant crayon of what is essentially oil paint. Utility knives, or you can use an X-Acto knife if you have one, but this is a cheaper solution available in any hardware store. Pink pearl eraser. You took one of those to school when you were a kid. I know you did. It was on the product list for mine. A rubber eraser. I left it in the original packaging. Sometimes it comes without this plastic and cardboard thing, and it's just in the cellophane, but that's what you're looking for. White pastels. Just get a small pack of 3 white pastels. They look like it's chalk pastel, not crayon pastel. Willow or vine charcoal is optional. We'll talk about that when I use the other charcoal in class. Not necessary, but if you have some, it's a few bucks for it, and that's all it is. A sketchbook. I don't care what size sketchbook you get. 5x7 is probably a good size for you, but I want you to get a size you'll carry around and use. That's the critical feature. Not showing here is something you're all probably very familiar with, and that's a dust mask. A year ago, I would have had to go in great detail about what to buy. Now I'm just going to tell you, if it's one that allows you to walk into a restaurant, you're probably fine. One other item not on this pad right now is I'm going to ask you to buy some quality drawing paper, but I will spend some time in class talking about the different varieties and what to look for, because it's going to be project related. You can expect to spend $5 or $10 at least in that direction, and you can, at your own choice, you could easily spend hundreds of dollars, but I don't expect you to do that. So that's our product list.